Hello everybody, welcome back to our channel. In today's video, we're going to be considering some of the spiritual gems comments for the week of September 2nd to 8th, 2024. So friends, we extend you a warm welcome, and now let's dive in. So for this week's Bible reading, we have Psalm 79 verse 281, and the first question comes from Psalm 80 verse 1. So let's read it. Let's take a look of this one, and then we'll answer the question. O shepherd of Israel, listen, you who are guiding Joseph just like a flock. So the question, why was Joseph's name sometimes used to designate all the tribes of Israel? And we have two answers. The first one, in view of Joseph's prominent position among the sons of Jacob, it was most appropriate that his name was sometimes used to designate all the tribes of Israel. Is more accurate. And the next one, the fact that Joseph is listed at the Revelation book, chapter 7, verse 8, suggests that Jacob's deathbed prophecy would have an application to spiritual Israel. So this is not by chance, and it's really significant. Okay, let's move on to the second question. What spiritual gems from this week's Bible reading would you like to share? And let's start with the number one. This comes from the book of Psalm 79, verse 1, and it says, O God, the nations have invaded your inheritance. They have defiled your holy temple. They have turned Jerusalem into a heap of ruins. So this verse has been fulfilled in some way in modern times. For example, some governments, what countries specifically in some areas have arbitrarily taken over theocratic facilities. That's kind of invasion, like this verse is saying. Number two, 79 verse 4 says, we have become an object of reproach to our neighbors. Those around us ridicule and jeer us. So there are people who enjoy seeing the misfortune of others, the tragedies of others. This verse teaches us that it's not right that a Christian is making fun of others' tragedies when others suffer a difficult situation. Even if they were not people we don't like our enemies, we shouldn't make fun or enjoy of their misfortune, never. Number 3, Psalm 79 verse 5, we read, How long, O Jehovah? So this teaches us that at certain times in our lives, we might ask Jehovah, how long? It's a relief to know that God hears our prayers and that the thing that is been affecting us today will also pass. It won't be last forever. Number 4, 79 verse 6 says, Pour out your wrath on the nations that don't know you, and on the kingdoms that don't call on your name. This verse teaches us that knowing God and calling on His name is something very important, and is not a simple thing. It implies more than just having a Bible at home or knowing God's name or attending a religion and period. Instead of that, is a way of life. It implies knowledge, but on the other hand, obedience to God's commandments. verse 5. 79 verse 6 says, it's the same verse, but teaches another one. This reminds us that being in the congregation and knowing about Jehovah is a valuable gift. Of course, some value it and others don't. The important thing is to be aware of it and value our privilege of knowing and worshiping the truly one Jehovah. Number 6, 79 verse 8 says, don't hold us accountable for the errors of our ancestors. So this is really significant and teaches us that our decisions not only affect us, but our family also. It's sad but true that the decisions we make today and what we do to others today could have an impact, an effect on our children or our family later. Number 7, 79 verse 9 says, help us, O God of our salvation. This teaches us how much Jehovah loves us. He is alive, as we've been considering the last Watchtower article. Jehovah is alive, and He wants us to help us in our process, in our trials, cleansing and purifying our path, life, and heart. 8. 79 verse 10 says, why should the nations say, where is their God? This teaches us that there are people in our day, in our times, who dare to mock us by saying, where is God? It's the same question. It's a kind of blasphemy, but the answer is that God is in the same place as always. He's an spirit in His high throne in heavens, but they remember God only because of the difficulties they are going through. Otherwise, they wouldn't be interested in the subject of God. So we notice how they are. Okay, now number 9, 83, this verse says, O God, restore us. This teaches us that we must rely on Jehovah, especially if we are in a process of spiritual recovery. After some discipline in the congregation, the person might feel unworthy or undeserving of the rescue, of the ransom, of praying, or just being in the congregation. But it's really important to remember that Jehovah can help us in a restoration process. If we know someone who's in that process, we could show some empathy and consideration. Number 10, Psalm 81 verses 9 and 12, it's about, among you there will be no strange God, and you won't bow down to a foreign God. So I let them follow their stubborn hearts. They did what they thought it was right. So this makes us think about how serious it is to obey what Jehovah says instead of doing what seems right to us. There are some religions, you probably imagine what religion we mean, that practice idolatry and spiritism, and they said it's just for their traditions because they think it's right. But if we compare their traditions, their religion, their idolatry and spiritism with the Bible, we found out that the Bible teaches us that's a terribly a grave sin before Jehovah. But of course, they are so stubborn and they prefer their traditions instead what the Bible really teaches. So friends, that's a wrap for this video. Thanks for watching. We hope you have a wonderful day and hope to see you in our next broadcast.